Hi, everybody. Welcome back, or welcome to BVisible. Whether you're joining us for the first time, or you're returning, or you're catching us for a watch party or a replay, welcome back. I'm excited and delighted to welcome you back to Invisible to be Profitable. Today is an interesting day, and it's an interesting day partially because it's also, besides being another launch day in Invisible to be Profitable, it's also the second day in International Networking Week. And I'd love to talk to you about that. So, for those of you who had a chance to join us over the weekend for a recap, and for those of you just joining us for the first time, that might be a great place to start with Saturday's BVisible recap Q&A. And to those of us just returning after that amazing panel that we had on Friday, the Building Connection panel with Camilla and Christopher and Erin and Eve and Jonathan and Tiffany, we had an amazing day talking about now the 10 C's, about ways to build connections and build relationships. But I really am really excited to welcome you back and to toast again. So let's start there. So today, I want to thank you because today we have members from 22 countries, and members from 22 countries in illuminations groups. It's kind of interesting because when I started out my entrepreneurial journey, it was challenging. I really didn't know about face-to-face networking, and I definitely was afraid to have approached online networking. But one of the really cool things was somebody found me floating around as a full-time entrepreneur at a local chamber of commerce, and they invited me to BNI, and I'm really grateful. So for those of you who don't know what BNI is, look up Lachelle Atkins, America's Supermom, and her recent interview of Dr. Ivan Misner, or look at Jonathan Howard's post today about International Networking Week. So BNI's an amazing international organization that's built on and that teaches us how to build relationships. And it's a global organization. And BNI is celebrating its 35th year. I'm honored to be a member of BNI Hudson Valley and BNI Networking Pros. I know, what does this have to do with International Networking Week? So Ivan Misner started International Networking Week years ago, and it started on the 2nd. And the cool part about International Networking Week, and one of the reasons why I'm talking about it today in conjunction with aligning your gears and your focus and your GPS, are because it happened for me this weekend. We talk all the time about how to shift and how to grow into things and how to stretch past our comfort zones. And yep, I'm the girl from the Bronx who never thought that I would be using live videos or marketing coaching as a way to reach across the miles. I really want to thank people who have tremendously supported me in the process. But one of the fun parts is that about 12 years ago, somebody walked into our local BNI Networking Pros chapter, an amazing gentleman by the name of Charlie Scarrett. And Charlie walked in because Newbie of Nimble Dragon had a visitor's day. And Charlie walked in, and that was the beginning, I think, of some really big changes for me as a person, for me as a business person, and really as a coach. We need to meet people who help us spark connections and help us build relationships along the miles. And today we're going to talk about how to align them. And I'm going to kind of frame that just by sharing my story about International Networking Week. So when I met Charlie, Ivan Misner, Dr. Misner, I never thought in a million years that I'd meet him. And then one day at a BNI Hudson Valley event that Frank Durafoli, the executive director of our region, hosted, here we had a chance to meet Ivan Misner. and Hazel Walker at a local event. And they were there to promote a book. And as the introvert, I like volunteering. It makes it a little bit easier for me to meet people. And so I volunteered for the check-in table. And when check-in was over, we had checked in over 125 people, and I needed a break. So I went towards the bar just to grab a glass of water. And out of the corner of my eye, I see there's somebody with me. And that person is Dr. Ivan Misner. I almost dropped my glass. I didn't realize before then how starstruck I could be. And Dr. Misner, I had been following for years, his books and reading articles and newsletters. That was how I kind of became an entrepreneur and learned about networking a little bit. And he asked me what my chapter was and what my name was. And for a second, I was so starstruck, I had forgotten them. But meeting Charlie helped make it possible to become more involved in BNI. And meeting Amy Stillwagon, I was their ambassador. And that was how I had a chance that day to meet Dr. Misner before he spoke. I really was overwhelmed. Years later, I had the opportunity to meet talented Peggy Elkins. That was at the beginning of me figuring out what BVisible was about. And Peggy one day brings over this amazing gentleman who I mentioned before, Jonathan Howard of JRH Graphics. You saw Jonathan in Friday's panel, and hang out with him if you have a chance in his group, The Social Life. And Jonathan, I met over the weekend some amazing people. And I thought, as I was meeting them, just like Peggy introduced me to Jonathan, and it was kind of game changing. You need people who bring you goosebumps. I met Lynn Coleman recently as a result of a marketing course. And one day she brought me goosebumps. You need goosebumps people to help you figure out how to mesh and align your gears, how to align your focus, how to even think about building a GPS so people can come into your business. If we don't meet people who help us open doors and help make it easier for us to expand our comfort zones, it does not happen. So I really want to thank Jonathan for being a person like that on my expanding comfort zones list. And Peggy met me at the start of BVisible. She helped me flesh it out. And it was just a natural fit. Peggy brought Jonathan to me. I'm half asleep, and I figure out later he's half asleep. And it was really cool to start the collaboration. Shortly after I met Jonathan, I had the chance, because of a post Dr. Misner put on LinkedIn, to meet Jennifer Becker. Jennifer's in our Illuminations group. She's in South Africa. And she wrote a great course about Dr. Misner's Who's in Your Room. If you have a chance, check it out. It really breaks it down to the point of reminding us to really be conscious of who's around us in our environments. And this process of Dr. Misner posting about International Networking Week and inviting 5 people to our BNI groups and to thanking 5 people for referrals that they gave us. You'll see some of my posts inside the group and one later that I'll make outside of the group on my timeline. But that brought me this weekend to a group that I started on BNI Connect. And BNI Connect's a group, a place where BNI members can connect. It's kind of an international database and directory. And as a result of one-to-ones that I've been having with our executive director, I started using it differently. It probably is fueling the international growth desire, our desire to go global as we try and help more people and transform more people. But the cool part this weekend was I had a chance to meet Gabriella. And Gabrielle is in Illuminations groups. So to make it really slow, I have a group in BNI Connect called Coaches Who Inspire Change. It had a different name. Jennifer suggested change to replace the word transformation. Thank you again, Jennifer. And this weekend, during International Networking Week, there are members from other countries posting in that group on BNI. Before then, there were crickets. And one of the really cool parts was Gabriella posted in the group, and it inspired me to go look at his profile. He's a member in Italy, and he's been a BNI member for 4 months. And if you look at his post invites you to connect and tells you that he has a newsletter for members who want to communicate in English. And when you go to his actual profile in BNI, there is a video. It is the most amazing video I have seen in a while. Truly a game changer if you're in BNI. And if you're not, we have to find a way to get Gabriella to share it in our group so others can see it. It's his first spotlight or feature presentation. We get to do these as a member occasionally to help tell people about our business and help invite them in so they know ways to help us. But Gabriella has done the opposite. He's had 81 meetings with members recently. He helped those members generate 53 referrals. 53. And in the video clip, it's brilliant. That's in his profile. He's included his first feature presentation. And he included the goal that he wants a black badge. Now, black badges for people who weren't in BNI and who are in other countries, many members get gray badges. And you're lucky to get a blue badge, which is a notable networker badge. And that black badge is like a mark of distinction. And that's his goal. And he wants to accomplish that goal within his first 6 months of membership as the president of his chapter. And it's really inspiring. And in the beginning of the feature presentation, he recorded an intro. Yes, he's an amazing marketer, and I can't wait to have virtual coffee with him and to find out other ways that we can help him grow his business. But in his introduction, he talks about how at his feature presentation, he had 40 guests. 40 guests. That ability to connect and transcend and really clearly share what he's looking for really is why I want to tie International Networking Week into what we're talking about today, which is the alignment of your focus, your gears, and your GPS. Gabriella has goals, sharing them in video, sharing them with a really clear voice, sharing them across the miles. The cool part was, besides posting in Coaches Who Inspire Change on BNI Connect, he generously accepted my connection request. He also accepted my invitation to join us here in Illuminations groups. So I'm just excited to learn more about how we can help him grow his business. Just like love doing that for all of our members, as well as for members of my group coaching program, BVisible Intensive. If you haven't had a chance yet, my name's Melanie Richards. I'm a marketing coach who helps businesses and not-for-profits open new doors to attract clients and donors. I love working with authors, with coaches, with consultants, with direct salespeople, with teams of all sizes, and I'll say dynamic teams, and to help them move from invisible to be profitable. I'm also the gift lady, and I approach gifts after 27 years from the perspective of unique gifts and incentives. And that's just a little bit about me. I'm also a specialist in live and virtual events. So if you need a hand at an event, a trade show, a conference, or a strategy, please pop into one of those links and let's set up a virtual coffee and figure out how to help you grow the business of your dreams so you're successful. So back to today's topic, which is align your focus, your gears, and GPS. So we talked about before a BVisible engagement map, a really colorful way to break down what you're trying to do, whether it's online, whether it's in person, whether it's a combination of both, whether you're doing it at a live event, whether you're doing it at a virtual event, at a presentation, to really break down into 4 steps how to take and engage with the people that you're hoping to bring into your business. And before we get into that, I'm just going to check in and see who's in the group. And hopefully we've had a chance to say hi already. And hey, Lachelle. Hi, Denise. And I don't have Facebook up, but I will get there. But I just want to say hi to everybody else who's joining us. Let us know where you're from and how we can help you. So back to the BVisible engagement map. There are 4 components of it: plan, design, attract, and refine. And we talked before about how you can approach these steps differently depending on what stage of your business you're in and what your goals are, and whether you're approaching it alone or with a team. And we talked about in Engage Your Audience about clarity, action, results, and solutions. So today I want to talk about meshing those. And I really want to think about ways that we can mesh those using the story I just shared with you. So plan and clarity line up. Design lines up with actions. And attract lines up with results. And refine lines up with solutions. How do they line up? That part is up to you. Whether you're doing it for a specific division of your business. So for me, for example, I've increased your visibility. And I now have driven audience. And we are also working towards BVisible Shifts, which is a really big series of live virtual events. For each one of those, different plan, different design, trying to attract different people. I'll work on refining later, because driven audience is from Engage Your Audience from years ago. And driven audience, I'm just building traction for. And so that way I'll look at refine, and we'll look at refine a little bit later. But with all of them, there has to be clarity about what the messages are, has to be really clear who we're trying to reach in terms of actions, what results we want to help generate, and what solutions we want to use. So for you, at whatever stage you're at, if you're at the beginning stage of your business, wait for the refine part later. And if you're looking for solutions, check out some of our infrastructure whizzes in the group. Check out Marcia McCrae. She has a guide called The Busy Entrepreneur's Guide, and I'll drop a link into that later. It was really helpful to me to figure out what the voice of my brand was. And Marcia was available to offer more support if I had questions. And as a marketing coach, there's so much going on. But I think the thing that really caught me this weekend was that the International Networking Week, I've never approached it with energy and enthusiasm until this year. It was something I always thought of in the back of my mind, not actively. And I think that really brings us to who we're trying to attract and what actions we have out there. And as we're building stronger communities and trying to help more people transform so that they move from invisible to be profitable, it's becoming clearer. It'll really help. And please keep your great feedback coming, keep your questions coming, keep your comments coming. And what I love is Denise has a comment about being a budding entrepreneur. And I had a chance to see Denise in action at her business forum panel. that Cindy Marsh Kroll, who's in our group of WEDC, hosted. And Denise is a budding entrepreneur, and her business model is based on tourism. And as Denise, as you're looking to engage people, and as you're looking to kind of connect them to her model is women who trailblaze. She's looking for a real specific market of clients. She's planning, she's designing, she's attracting, she's refining. And watching her with her business plan was really cool because Denise is really in the clarity stage. She's just starting to get out there to share her messages. She's just getting out there to share her calls to connect and engage. And it's a really, really exciting part of her business. And it's a lot of fun to watch. And what I really enjoy is that as we're starting all these things, somebody who's kind of been there for me since the very beginning, and thank you again, Rick, for everything from planning to designing to building websites to just helping me figure out ways to open doors. That Rick and I are New Yorkers. Way back when I didn't have an SBA or a local, I was reading entrepreneur magazines. I was reading Inc. I was reading Dr. Meisner's blogs in FedEx. And I wasn't really sure how to align or connect being an employee with being an entrepreneur. So think of it that way, that for you, no matter what stage of your business you're at, we're here to help you. We're here to support you. And if you'd like more support, I really want you to think about joining us in BVisible Intensive. It's a group program, and it's a group coaching program for those of us at every stage of our business. And we're going to talk more about it over the next couple of days. What's next after today in our launch? We're going to have a BVisible online networking mixer with fur babies at the end of our launch. And the really cool part about that is Jonathan and the DC Puggles and Gerson from Pain Relief for You Now, New York, are sponsoring our mixer. And you're welcome with or without your virtual fur babies. You're welcome to come take a step, and you'll find I am highly allergic. So yes, I am bringing fur babies to the mixer, and we'll continue to have virtual toasts. So join me. You'll see who I bring. You'll also get a chance to meet Jonathan's beautiful Max and Ryder. And tomorrow, we're going to continue with Invisible to be Profitable. Invisible to be Profitable is that really colorful puzzle key. You'll see it in the graphics, and I'll bring it up tomorrow so that you can see it easily. And be visible to be profitable goes from be visible, be consistent, be selective, be focused, be valuable, to be profitable. The order in which you do those is truly up to you at what stage you're at in your business. And again, it's all about separating our sales, our marketing, our networking, our online, our outreach in a way so that we're not so overwhelmed. Because as entrepreneurs, it can really seem daunting. Years ago, when I started Illuminations groups, I really wanted to have a global reach. I didn't see a way to do that until I met Eve, and Eve joins us at our first live virtual retreat. Eve was our first international guest. Check her out also, her videos in the group with the hashtag Illuminations, and watch her in action on Friday to hear her beautiful voice. She put an amazing post up to kind of celebrate our January, where you can see and learn a little bit more about Eve. After Invisible to be Profitable, we're going to take a deeper dive into BVisible Intensive Q&A. And those are going to be our next couple of days. You're also going to notice that we're having watch parties finally. I wanted to give us all a chance as entrepreneurs to digest at a slower pace. Let me know if you need the links, if you're unable to find the links to the past sessions that are in Unit 2, or if you need a separate document, which I've shared with a couple of people, that has the actual links that will lead you back to the videos. Consume at your own pace. And I'm going to do something that the launch experts say don't do. I am going to leave those videos up in Unit 2. So as new people join us, they can figure out where they need help. They can ask questions. They can figure out where they want to engage. And Illuminations Groups for Talented Entrepreneurs is a really safe place to do that. So I want to thank you for joining me there. As part of today and the International Networking Week, I want to toast you again. I want to thank Gabriella for joining us. And I want to thank Ruth just for joining us. And thank everybody else who's in our community, because you make this a really safe and amazing place to be. And I'm really grateful for that. So we had some virtual toasts all during the week. We had them at last week's networking mixer. You're going to find the engagement map that we talked about is in Unit 2. It's also available for a download on our website, BVisible.solutions. If you have any questions, if you're stuck, if you're not sure that the group intensive is a good fit for you, or whether any sort of coaching is a good fit for you, please don't hesitate to reach out and have virtual coffee. We have some amazing coaches in our communities. If marketing coaching isn't the right fit for you, be happy to connect you with somebody who can help you get unstuck. Because Illuminations is about shining light into some of our darker corners. It's about being inspired. It's about supporting each other through our entrepreneurial journeys, whether we're just starting or it's our 30th or 40th year. There are lots of talented professionals in our community who I'd love to introduce you to. And during International Networking Week, if you can, take some time to make some friends, maybe set up a virtual coffee with somebody else in the group in another country that you haven't met yet. There's a thread in here that basically asks where you're from. Put in there where you live now. Put in there where you lived, where you used to live before. And put in there where you'd like to meet people to help you build your business. To the BNIers, let's celebrate International Networking Week at our highest level, the way Gabriella is, the way Ivan Meisner suggested, by thanking 5 people who've given us amazing referrals in BNI, while helping each other build new relationships by opening new doors at our meetings or this spring. But I really want to thank you for joining me today. And I'm really looking forward to you joining me for Invisible to be Profitable. And you're going to find a series of watch parties today. We're going to start with Jonathan's International Networking Week video. For those of you who need a different example of what it means. And there are 2 hashtags for International Networking Week that are in the post, and let's pay it forward and spread some seeds and help each other build energizing connections and profitable relationships. I'm going to stick around for a little bit on the other side and answer some of your questions. But again, I am so excited and delighted. Hard to believe. People from 22 countries here. This girl from the Bronx thanks you and celebrates with you. International Networking Week. And I hope you have an amazing and profitable day. I really welcome you to connect when you have a few minutes. Enjoy the watch parties, enjoy the replays, and invite others to come in and join us here when you have a few minutes so they can come join us and be visible too. Have an amazing and profitable day. Enjoy. And if you're just launching this week, a bunch of us are, enjoy the launch, enjoy the stretch, enjoy the push out of your comfort zones, and let us know how we can help support you with the big steps that you're about to take. And again, have a great day, an amazing and profitable one. Take care.